It had a bosom, it was a genuine bosom. Not a fake one like that. This began appearing when they wanted to give the impression of a bosom. They were making these garments more out for special occasions. In very old-fashioned villages, one thing and tonight and then the third next. Then they still made these shirts, but in a way more modern, like these shirts now, that material and that length, but in a way more modern styling. And tonight and forth. And after that, really, these villages died out. So, these last super old-fashioned villages, at least in France, perhaps in Switzerland, will remain longer. I think that they are more certain about how they made their shirts in Switzerland. Probably similar. They have actually seen a lot of original German examples, as I explained. So I will now, hopefully, that is the time of the decision once I try it on. But I'm going to say, yes, everything is machine done, but very well made, with the pleats gathered there, and I love that detail of the city. Everybody in Antiques will know that pleat in the middle, that then flattens that. Very much like many originals. I actually like a lot of city shirts, like that one. That one is not ironed yet, and the fabric is very, very light and supple and dressy, and thus it is very hard to see, but it is actually there. And once I iron it and start, it is very prominently seen. Like on the early 1920s shirt that died out, or which was there and pull over shirts to put in the extra fabric to fit it there. Initially it was there to fit the extra fabric because it has to be very roomy to keep it pulling it over one's head, and then they would fit that extra fabric in the middle because obviously it gathers to the bosom. Again, one comes back to the gathering of the bosom. The color also is actually funny. Most original 19th century, even to 1920s shirts that aims to imitate German, they don't have a collar like that. That was more of a modern city collar, actually began appearing in the 1860s. But bear in mind that those country shirts aimed really to be constructed and to be essentially shirts that were like 70 years prior. So they usually, when they have a turn-down collar, which they usually did, and also an upstanding one like the one I showed. So that one has an upstanding collar. And this collar was also popular in the city until at least 1880s. If anything, it actually, if once tooled up, when unfolded, it actually goes to the back. It leans to the back rather than leaning to the front, like still dress collars mostly are today, like that one, and being also longer, as in the leaf, which is the top part, not the band, will be longer. This really began appearing in the 1870s on city shirts, and it was not seen on, as 1860s, the most modern, but it was not seen on country shirts that I've ever seen, especially those types before they were made in 1920 minimum. So, and then they would not have been made, clearly not with that reinforcement piece there. Just to bear in mind, and yeah. So I think that I'm happy. So I can't get the bosom super stiff because the fabric is too thick and it is a single ply bosom, or in other words it is not even a genuine bosom, it is not a separate piece. What they did is simply add that separate piece of the placket there, the bosom like bottom thing, which is very beautiful with the embroidery, and add that same embroidery type upon either side, and then have those tucks, and those tucks are false bosoms to give the impression that something was stitched, but nothing was stitched really. It is one more ply of fabric, and there is no yoke. The yoke instead are those square pieces which we use instead of the yoke, or even usually instead of the square pieces, simply like that one has no yoke, simply gathering in the back. And then there's that is the original, one of the original ones with a earthy thicker reinforcement than that one, but still way longer, which actually takes the whole length of the elbow. But I suppose they did short even in the past, whence they would use that that thick weird thing on the shoulder there instead of the yoke. That is even the older system, I think. I'm not sure. I need to know. And it is not cut upon the back, which would look like that for a shirt that short, which makes sense, but it is way too short. Even imagine why is it that short. But anyhow, because the collar is 2 plies and the cuts are also 2 plies, it can still be more heavily starched, though there are only 2 plies and the plies are thick. But I'm almost certain there is no interlining is in the modern sticky, foam-like interlining they put into usually all the circle reproduction. So overall, I would date that shirt the fabric is very hard. One would say this is clearly 100% cotton. So obviously 100% cotton existed, but well, I've now learned a lot of black fabrics, and there are so many steps in there that it is near impossible, I'm certain, that all of those steps were done as per it would have been done prior to 1920, because the style clearly, even for Germany, with that big thing, could never have been made, even in the most remote village, I guess, after 1920. So there is where really the thing becomes inaccurate in truth, is the fabric itself. But other than that, color, yes, I would say still too modern, especially if they would go with as old-fashioned a thing as that. Why would they keep the color that modern? Knowing that in 1920, most of those country sheds still wore that much older-fashioned color, or stand-up color of some sort. But still, that I can be okay on. The buttons, yes, are inaccurate, but for 1920 they're almost accurate. One could easily change them. But otherwise, everything else I would say is accurate. Obviously, the solving is not handmade, which it usually would have been, but then to also use sewing machines. I think it would have done a different stitching. I'm looking at the other side, but since the stitching is simply straight dead, I guess any machine would make the same, and only very expert in sewing machines could ever see if even there would be any differences. So this is probably the most accurate imitation shed, as in imitating a certain type of garment, as in worn by a certain type of country, was placed on the air by a certain type of people. So again, the peasants, by in a certain era, even if that time span may be very large. I would say garment like that could only have been worn around 1920 because of the collar. In Germany, not in France, because of those big shoulder blade things. And also they usually don't have the embroidered things in French heads. I think that was more of a German thing, although it was also rare there for German or ex-Holy Women Empire thing. I call it ex-Holy Women Empire because really it was ex-Holy Women Empire. It was Austria. Actually, it was the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The Hungary and Austria were together at that time, but Germany was also a country on its own. And Germany included Bavaria. But and Liechtenstein and Luxembourg were also two separate countries, I think. Liechtenstein so now is a separate country. So it was certainly a separate country then. It was a separate mini country. So, and especially at that time, especially for countries, at least the buttonholes would have been hand sewed, which are not there. And the buttons also, but this I can't get them off hand sewn. I don't know. I think they did not even have machines to stitch buttonholes there, and they don't even exist. But I cannot tell if the buttons are stitched by hand or machine. All I can tell is that certainly they have no shank. So I put it on at last. I turn my hair back. That shall be my everyday shed now. Until I finish the moulding, and I have an extra month of moulding to do because unfortunately one of our cats died, and I have to do. She died in December last year, so I had that in mind when I was doing the Queen Elizabeth moulding to do an extra month for that cat. So I shall be moulding until April 1. Only one outfit in one shed. Well, that shed being so thick shall last a long time, even with starching and boiling, even if done on every 2 weeks. Well, it looks like a peasant shed, it looks very roomy. But the sleeves are bottom the right length, not too long. The collar, I think, is The collar is exactly. I like it to be not snug, especially it shall be starched. So actually, being starched, this shall be exactly the size I'm looking for, which shall be a tad snug to me, but not very much so. And then there are folded. It's very warm for Dubai, especially knowing that it's winter now, but knowing that I shall wear that with the undershirt, which I have to because I intend to wear it a lot before any washing. And for some reason, this is very odd. For some reason, they messed up something there. They messed up that shed during the factory thing. Perhaps White had then sold it because, see, this buttonhole buttons right over left like it should. But that one also buttons right over left. So this is another, they sold on another right cuff, but that time to the left thing, which makes it very odd. And clearly this was not remade by anyone because this is just, there's only one buttonhole there. Clearly the buttonhole was not shut there. And the button exchange now, this was simply how it was made. So these are factory garments, probably dating to 30 years, 33 years, 40 years max ago.